No, that's not possible. Not Taehyung. That short sentence was uttered by Chris Martin upon hearing the shocking news from behind the scenes of the global music industry. A musician of Coldplay's caliber looked devastated. But it wasn't just because of the rumor. This was about someone he considered a friend, someone who had touched the hearts of many, Taehyung of BTS. Is it true that Taehyung will leave the group that raised him? And why did Jungkook, his fellow member, suddenly speak with such emotional weight? Speculation erupted like sparks in dry hay. It started with Taehyung's absence from several official BTS activities and Jungkook's ambiguous statement during a live stream that lasted only a few minutes. The fandom world, especially ARMY, instantly split into anxiety and theories. There was no direct confirmation, but every gesture, every word, every silence became a puzzle the public tried to solve. In the very short but meaningful live stream, Jungkook said, "I think I know what's really going on, and I can't stay silent anymore." No name was mentioned, but it wasn't needed. Everything pointed to one person, Kim Taehyung, better known as V. The public reacted swiftly. The hashtags StayWithBTS and Protect Taehyung immediately trended worldwide, showing the deep unrest among fans around the world. A few hours later, another clip appeared. This time, Jungkook sounded more emotional. He said, "Tae has always been my anchor, but lately he's been drifting away, and I know part of that is my fault." Those words hit hard. Was this a confession of guilt? Had there been friction causing a rift within BTS? Fans began tracing Taehyung's digital footprints, searching for any clue, and they found it. Taehyung's personal social media account showed worrying signs. Over 80% of BTS-related content had been deleted. He also appeared absent from major events like the HYB reunion and some group interviews. Moreover, he no longer looked warm in photos with other members as he once did. His gaze was flat, his face silent. In a world that always demands smiles and closeness, silence is the loudest signal. Chris Martin, known to have a strong emotional bond with BTS, especially Taehyung and Jungkook, was reportedly seen abruptly stopping an interview upon hearing the rumor. A source from Coldplay's management stated that Chris looked deeply disappointed and shaken when he received the message about the possibility of Taehyung stepping away from BTS. But is this merely an emotional reflex, or is there something bigger that has yet to be revealed? As a close friend, Jungkook seemingly didn't want to let this rumor spiral aimlessly. In an exclusive interview, he added, "Everyone has to make big decisions in life. I just hope he doesn't carry it all alone." This sentence opens a deeper emotional layer, personal decisions, industry pressure, and perhaps an identity conflict that Taehyung has long felt. A young actor who had previously worked with Taehyung revealed in an interview that Taehyung once said, "I'm afraid the character I've built isn't really me. I want to be Kim Taehyung again, not just V of BTS." This strengthens the assumption that there's a deep longing within Taehyung to return to the roots of his true self, free from the expectations that have bound him for years. However, none of this confirms that Taehyung is truly leaving BTS. Some industry observers believe the deletion of social media content and Taehyung's absence could be part of a transition towards solo projects, not a sign of separation. HYBE, as BTS's official agency, hasn't released any statements. This is what makes the rumors spiral even faster. When there's no clarification, speculation grows rapidly. What traps the public even deeper in emotional turmoil is Jungkook's apparent heartbreak. In one of his live streams, he said, "We shared laughter, tears, and dreams together. But sometimes, loving someone means letting them go so they can find themselves." That sentence hit thousands of ARMY hearts, sparking countless tribute videos and open letters flooding social media. This isn't just fandom. It's a global emotional solidarity. But slowly, some positive signs began to emerge. In recent days, Taehyung has been seen attending studio recording sessions with some BTS members. He was also caught on camera at a private dinner with Jeon and RM. Although he hasn't officially denied the rumors, his presence among members shows the bond hasn't fully broken. Chris Martin, who was previously rumored to be shaken, in his latest interview only expressed admiration for BTS without touching on any breakup issues. "They're not just a band, they're a living cultural phenomenon," he said. This might be a signal that he chose not to escalate the situation with potentially misinterpreted comments. Meanwhile, HYB is reportedly preparing a major BTS comeback in 2025, once all members complete their military service. This plan is said to include all members, including Taehyung. If true, then all this panic might simply be an overinterpretation of personal expressions and an artist's digital curation choices. So, is Taehyung really going to leave BTS? As of now, the answer remains uncertain. All of Jungkook's statements reflect concern, not confirmation. Taehyung's recent activities prove that he hasn't exited BTS's orbit. And Chris Martin's emotional expression, though heartfelt, cannot be taken as concrete evidence of internal conflict. What is undeniable, however, is that this emotional dynamic reflects just how complex and human the relationships among BTS members truly are. They're not stage robots. They're humans who grew together in the spotlight, full of love and pressure. And if Taehyung is now searching for himself, then the world should give him space, not additional pressure. ARMY must stay calm. This story isn't over. Taehyung hasn't left. Jungkook hasn't lost. Chris Martin hasn't given up. And BTS? They're still standing, though slightly silent, amid a storm that hasn't yet cleared. In the midst of collective panic flooding the internet, one thing becomes increasingly clear. The line between reality and interpretation has blurred. When one sentence from Jungkook can trigger thousands of theories, and one deleted post from Taehyung can be read as a farewell signal, the question changes. Is this really happening? Or are we being led by a cleverly emotional media narrative? We must pause and ask ourselves, are we witnessing a major event in K-pop history? Or are we just victims of algorithmic brilliance and digital emotional manipulation? The fact that most of the circulating information comes from platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and fan forums shows these sources are not journalistic institutions practicing rigorous verification. Let's retrace. Did Chris Martin really cancel an interview over the Taehyung news? Did he actually say, "That's not possible"? Not Taehyung? As of now, no recording or official quote confirms that event. That line has only circulated via short clips and text posts from fan accounts lacking journalistic credibility. Is this just hype, or is there a hidden motive behind spreading this narrative? What about Jungkook? His live stream was emotional, and his words were touching. But in full context, his remarks lean more toward personal reflection, not an official announcement. Lines like, "I can't stay silent anymore" could mean many things: emotional fatigue, guilt, or simply a desire to speak, not necessarily about Taehyung's departure. So, why did the public immediately connect it to him? Are we seeking drama because peace feels boring? Social media plays a huge role in shaping public opinion. Images of a silent or tired-looking Taehyung are interpreted as departure signals. But haven't we all felt tired, burned out, or had bad days? Why do we forget that they're humans too, not fictional K-drama characters? The narrative being crafted is too perfect. Broken friendship, inner conflict, tears, then a dramatic farewell. Isn't this more like a movie plot than reality? We must also ask, who benefits from this story? Is it just coincidence that this rumor emerged alongside BTS solo promotions? Or is this part of a subtle marketing strategy, where fans' emotions are the strongest driving tool? Modern entertainment knows emotional attachment leads to engagement, and engagement means attention, clicks, and, of course, profit. Yet we can't immediately call this a fabrication either. There might be real tension. Taehyung may truly be considering something major. But isn't it better to wait for official clarification than to hang our emotions on baseless speculation? It's important to note that HYB has made no official statement regarding Taehyung's departure. No announcement, no press conference. Taehyung's recent activity even shows his involvement in BTS projects. So why are we so quick to believe this is the end? Is it because we love too much or fear losing them? Critical thinking is the last stronghold in an age of distorted information. We must ask, why are certain media outlets pushing this narrative so hard? Is there solid evidence, or just conclusions drawn from gestures and facial expressions? Are we hearing directly from those involved, or just third-party interpretations? If we're not skeptical, we may unknowingly contribute to spreading misinformation. We may be adding pressure on Taehyung and the members, who may already be emotionally vulnerable post-military. Do we want them to live truthfully, or just follow the storyline we've created? So we ask you to reflect. Do you truly believe Taehyung is leaving BTS? Or are you beginning to suspect this is just a viral narrative designed to create emotional impact? Do you realize how powerful social media is in shaping our perceptions? Do you verify before sharing, or just spread out of panic? This article relies on various sources from social media and online communities. But we emphasize that the truth of all this information still requires further verification. Many circulating statements remain unproven and may be assumptions, or even hoaxes designed to generate buzz. In such situations, the critical role of readers becomes essential. We must learn not to drift with uncertain tides. The K-pop world has too often been a stage for offstage drama. If we keep consuming unfiltered information, we not only harm artists' mental well-being but also perpetuate dangerous cycles of misinformation. Being skeptical doesn't mean being indifferent. On the contrary, it's the best form of protection for those we support. Because to love also means to guard them from baseless rumors. Thank you for watching. Now it's your turn. Do you still believe Taehyung is leaving BTS? Or are you starting to doubt everything you've read so far? Share your thoughts. Write your comments. But before you do, reflect again. Do you really know the truth?